Ja, herzlich willkommen zur neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Heute bei mir Interview. Duane Parnham ist bei mir. Er ist von Madison Metals. Investing in the Future of the Clean Energy steht da drunter. Also ich glaube, das sagt schon alles. Man weiß auch ungefähr, wohin die Richtung hingeht. Clean Energy wird in Nordamerika auch sehr oft mit Uran in Verbindung gebracht. Und wenn man ehrlich ist, Uran ist der heißeste Commodity, oder ist die heißeste Commodity, die es derzeit am Markt gibt. Duane, thank you for your time. Thank you to being here. It's very interesting. I said in my German introduction, you are also in the uranium business, and uranium is the hottest commodity at the moment. It's going through the roof. I was involved also with some companies in the first uranium boom, what we have 2008, 2009. The first uranium boom was in the 70s, 80s for sure. But in the reasonable years was 2006 to 2008, 9, where we're going also run up to 140. And it was funny times. At these old days, but since then it was very frustrating when you are investing in uranium. But the surprising point was always that when you look at the supply demand, you think, what's happened here? The mine shut down. I remember Cameco shut down one of their production mines and say, hey, it makes no sense to produce something, it's better to trade something. So it's was a little bit weird, but in the last 2 years, or I must say the last 6 months, it's going, or 9 months, it's going to the roof. What is your explanation? Why what has happened to the uranium price? Why it's now going to the roof?
Well, Joe, good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here talking today. For some of your viewers may remember, I was actually the founder of Forces Metals back in 2006, 2007. Where I licensed a uranium mine in Namibia. So I've been working consistently in Namibia now for better than 22 years. This is my second time into the uranium space. As you correctly mentioned, in 2007 era, we had a massive spike in spot price up to about 140-ish, 136, 140 at the high at that time. And of course, a lot of junior mining companies in the uranium space were born and quickly dissolved, during that slow period. But to answer your question, if you look back at 2007 fundamentals to what's going on today, there is a significant difference. And in 2007, if you recall, the rise was mostly driven by institutional and investor interest in the spot. And they were able to really move the price when futures were introduced on the CME in Chicago, and they were able to move those prices very, very rapidly, very fast. But the underlying fundamentals, I don't think were all of that great back then when you look back in hindsight, because, nuclear energy wasn't in favor then. You had countries like Germany that were actually shutting down nuclear power, so they were closing their facilities, and the actual underlying buying power wasn't quite as aggressive as we're seeing today. So fast forward now to 2023, we had an 88% increase in spot price in 2023. We're probably running almost 100% year to date. So another 10% or so increase already in the first few weeks of January. But I believe this cycle has a lot more underlying fundamental power to sustain a multi-year bull market for uranium. Why? I'm getting to your question. It's a long answer, but it's important to understand. The globe has changed considerably on their green energy initiatives, as you correctly pointed out. France has called nuclear energy green energy. They have net zero carbon emissions now, by 2050. You've got COP28 that wants to triple nuclear power generation by 2024. You've got reactor builds that have been the strongest that we've seen pretty much in history. We have new reactor in plan and in permitting stage. Plus, on top of all that, you've got extension of existing nuclear power plants that are now being extended for 10, 20 years. So what does that do to the supply? This is the problem. The supply has dried up because we haven't invested in mining companies like mine. We haven't, brought new production into line to meet the new demand. Now with this green energy, governments have realized the only sustainable base load power is from the nuclear plants. So we're not getting the necessary power supply from green energy sources like wind power and these things. So the nuclear fashion that's going on today is much, much more powerful than it was in 07. So I think we're going to still see some very strong spot uranium pricing going forward. And I believe that the junior mining industry that I've been involved with for 35 years is starting to look better today than it has been in the years past.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understandable. And so in other words, you don't think that we have a spike like 2007, 2008. It's more a constant high level of uranium price.
We're producing about 140 million pounds of uranium per year on the backdrop of buying that's been running at about 190 million pounds. Mm-hmm. So we've always had a gap in the supply that's been filled by stockpiles or from other sources, government stockpiles or nuclear reactors like Japan that were shutting down had bought forward, and they were bringing the supply into the market. Maybe decommissioning of warheads was still going on. But if you look at the fundamentals today, everything has changed because reactors are new reactor builds plus current reactors that were slated to shut down are now buying. Mm-hmm. So the utilities, which is really the end users for our product, have enjoyed for a very long time a very easy buy, meaning they could access product 1, 2 years, 3 years at a very good price.
Mm-hmm. But on the other hand,
yeah. Sorry, say again.
But on the other hand, is the price is not very important for the nuclear power plant itself. It's only a fraction of the cost. So from to run a nuclear power plant, then the most costs are the capex to build these power plants and the uranium what you need to run this is only 1 or 2 or 3% of. So when the price is going up 100%, it makes not really, that is not a long economic. So
I agree with you 100%. I think the owners and managers of nuclear power plant fear today is that with the investment and the lead time it takes to buy your fuel, convert it, and then pelletize it and load the reactors, I think people are afraid of their jobs today because where they thought they could buy power or the raw materials in 1-2 years, they're not going to be able to do that. So they need to plan further out. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that, we could see a sustainable multi-year bull run here as sort of that buying starts picking up and the planning for the reactor purchases, the energy purchases become more stabilized. Mm-hmm. But absolutely elasticity and the cost of the uranium to the overall cost of management, building, and operating these plants, it's all built in. And already in the United States, the power facilities, the companies that are selling electricity to the end users are already raising prices in anticipation of, mm-hmm. of a higher uranium purchase.
Mm-hmm. So, but what I'm not really understanding is when I look at the uranium price and you see the nice move up. And then I look at your share price, and there was a nice move up in October, but it's coming down in November, and you're still on the same price like last April, last May, last June. So normally the juniors should run much quicker than the uranium price itself. So what's happened here?
Well, I think there's probably the market doesn't truly understand our underlying fundamental business model that we're building, because we've gone into a forward sales agreement whereby we're selling our uranium ahead to help finance our operations. And I just don't think they truly understand the value of that. This innovative way of bridging sort of traditional mining with cryptocurrency isn't truly understood. And we've had a couple hiccups along the way. And, with any innovation, it takes time and patience. But I can tell you it's paying off. The proof of concept has been done. We received our first bit of money from the forward sales. We've got at a very good price. I mean, I know at $68 when the uranium is 106 doesn't sound great, but we actually did those transactions back in November of last year when uranium was trading somewhere around 85 to 90. So those prices are actually very good for us. That's inward capital now that's being generated from from the tokenization of our in the ground resources. Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward to more development as the tokenization of real world assets develop further, and we're seeing that that relationship is going to get stronger and stronger. But that's only one sort of idea that we have to help the company. The other is we have advanced uranium assets, in the ground assets in Namibia, where I've been working for 22 years. And these assets are unique in that they're mining licenses right beside Rossing, which is the world's largest open pit uranium mine. Mm-hmm. Namibia is the fourth largest uranium producer by country. And they have vast uranium resources there with a jurisdiction and a government that's very familiar. They've been mining uranium since 1976. There's 2 operating uranium mines in close vicinity to our grounds. Our grounds are already mining licenses. So we can fast track production on these claims that we have quicker than probably anyone today because of its location and its it's a mining license permit already. So we're looking at developing a fast track production scenario in Madison, and we're only now starting to backfill this information to get it out to the public. So at an 8 million market cap, I think it's 5 million euro or so, this creates a really unique investment thesis for your investors.
Mm-hmm. When you say fast track, what's mean fast track for you?
Within a year. Because although we're not licensed for uranium, what's happened here is mining licenses have been issued for other commodities. So we haven't explored for uranium because, for instance, on the con license that we have, they were mining copper. And there's very high grade uranium. You're going to see some results here shortly, but there's some very high grade uranium, within 5 kilometers trucking to Rossing. Mm-hmm. So this is very, very good hunting ground for uranium deposits in geological environment that's very, very similar to what Rossing has, and where they've been mining uranium since 76. Mm-hmm. So that's very exciting to us. On top of that, we have an exploration permit that has a historical resource of 9 million pounds of uranium. They've only just touched the surface back in 2015 when they drilled that. And then, of course, the market went sour on them. So that deposit's been sitting there, but it's right on the highway, and it's roughly twice the distance of Con to Rossing. So here we are exploring in one of the best jurisdictions in the world where they've been producing uranium for many, many, many years. And we have the management and technical experience to navigate in that jurisdiction to get our product to market as fast as we can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this means your plan is to go really quick to production, but not build your own mill and so something. You ship it to Rossing, that they're doing the milling for you, and you get then paid for your or what you deliver to them.
That is our idea.
Mm-hmm.
We have a ways to go on those discussions, but that is the idea because there's already 3 mining licenses issued in Namibia. I obtained one of them for Forces Metals at Valencia. It's about 150 kilometers away from Rossing in very difficult area I don't believe, and the grade is a lot lower there, but I don't believe they'll be able to truck it that distance, at an economic cost. Mm-hmm. To build a plant now, from when we did that work, 10 years ago or so, it's going to cost them now another 20-25% more. So you're looking at $500 million to $750 million to build a processing plant today. Mm-hmm. Same thing's happening down with another Australian group below us. they have a similar situation where they have a mining license, but they have to capitalize a very large facility, which requires a lot of money. So our idea is to quickly avoid a massive capital raise and then just focus on contract mining and tolling agreements in the future. And if that works, boy, this is going to be an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. And the mill has capacity for your ore?
Well, we're in discussions on that, but yeah, if you look at Rossing, for example, they were slated to shut down in 2025. They ran out of ore because they've been mining from a pit that's now 400 meters plus. Now they've since come out with an expansion plan to keep that mill going, but I would suspect that with Rossing, with QSEB, with Valencia, with Bannerman, with all these new mills that are slated to be built, I think there would be a great opportunity for us to to negotiate a full agreement.
And you say you have high grade. What's high grade mean for you?
Well, right now, we're just getting assays back, so that'll be something we'll be announcing very shortly here to the market. But if you use counts per second, we're running between 15,000 to 50,000 counts per second. So that in Namibia terms is very high grade material. Valencia is running at about 190 ppm. Rossing's mining at 330 ppm roughly. And Bannerman, I think the project below us is running, somewhere around the 200 ppm mark. So these areas that we're seeing on the con are extremely higher grade material than what they're seeing on average there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what are now really the plans for the next, I would say, 12 months? So what can we expect from the news flow?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of groundwork going on. We've got a lot of sampling, assaying. We're preparing a drill program once we receive the SRK report or recommendations from SRK for 8531. We're working on con to fast track the con discovery that we made to production, and some corporate events that are boiling in the background. So we're going to have a very active year, and we're going to have a lot of news flow coming here in the next number of months.
Okay, and to finance all the stuff, is this forward sales agreement enough, the money what you get, or you need then more private placements or whatever?
Well, I think we'll be blending a bit of both. We're seeing, as the maturity of what the development team is doing on the other side of the sales agreement, it needs time to mature, and they're doing a fantastic job, getting this token trade and getting the marketing and all the liquidity things that they need to do. They're doing a remarkable job there. But it just needs time to mature, and that's pretty normal for these types of things. These innovations, we all think should happen real fast, but in order to do it right, it just takes a little more patience and a little more time. So we're expecting some constant returns from that. At the same time, we also need to do the things that we do as a mining company. But if you look at my history, I'm one that really protects shareholder value. I've paid and bought for all of my shares. I own about 12% of the company. I really believe that tight share structure, good share ownership is very important for us. And I say us as shareholders to make money. I don't make money just for me and my guys. I make money for my shareholders. And you look at the deals that I've done in the past, and that's a proven, game plan that I've implemented a number of times. So, we can go quickly. We get money always offered to us, but it's the right money that we need to build this company properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a slide in your presentation, but there's a presentation from September from the capital structure. How many shares do you know? How many shares are at the moment outstanding?
There's about 27 million shares issued and outstanding. 26 or so of those are free trading. There's 1.1 million shares still in escrow. And there's a few warrants, maybe a million or 1.4 million of warrants that are outstanding, and options to the directors and consultants. So on a fully diluted basis, we're probably running at about 30 to 31 million shares.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's really and bigger shareholder. You're the biggest shareholder, or
I'm the largest shareholder, about 12%. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are there other groups that are also
There's
have some?
institutions in Bahamas. There's Toronto groups. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's, I think it's a decent shareholder base. We haven't really marketed too aggressively. We did some marketing early last year, and then we've been waiting, for this forward sales agreement to mature. So we're really now just getting back out in 2024. So, to answer your earlier question, I think we've lagged the market, but I think we're building a very strong foundation for future gains.
Yeah, Duane, thank you for this first introduction to your company. It's very interesting. I never was in Namibia, but I heard it's a very nice country too. And
It's a former German colony, so we have a lot of German culture there. Um, and it's a beautiful place. I call it Africa for beginners. So please, if you're ever down in Africa, please come and join us. We'd be happy to show you around Swakopmund and some of the finer parts of Namibia, and particularly where our operations are. So yeah,
okay.
we welcome that.
No, thank you for the first introduction. It was a very interesting one. Surprising that your share price is not higher when we look at the uranium price, but it's very interesting that at the moment really the junior market is not only in uranium, it's all in a lot of other areas really dead, I must say. But this is also an opportunity, a big opportunity.
Yeah,
Then when
I
the
agree.
money flows in, then it's going quick, and then yeah, your market cap is nothing. So if a little bit money coming in, it's going like crazy.
We inspire change and we want to grow together. So it's been a great opportunity to talk to you and your listeners and investors, and come and join us. This is going to be a great journey.
Ja, thank you. Ja, das war eine erste Präsentation von Madison Metals. Geht um Uran in Namibia. Was ist da die Story? Erstens einmal, Sie haben eine historische Schätzung schon mal droben. Sind zwar nur 9 Millionen Pfund an Uranium, aber ist genug. Aber das Wichtige ist, er redet immer von Fast Track, dass er schnell in Produktion bringt. Fast Track heißt innerhalb von den nächsten 12 Monaten, innerhalb von einem Jahr. Warum kann er das machen? Weil nämlich eine große Mine Rossing daneben liegt, die 2025 das Erz ausgeht und er nur das Mining macht und Contract Mining macht und Toll Milling quasi drüben in der Mine, und das ist innerhalb von ein paar Kilometern nur entfernt. Und von daher ist es sehr interessant. Das heißt, die meisten Capex fallen eigentlich weg, weil es geht eigentlich nur um Milling, und das Permitting ist eigentlich da. Er wartet jetzt mit SRK, dass die einen Plan aufstellen, was soll gebohrt werden, wie soll es gemacht werden, und dann soll so schnell wie möglich in Produktion gebracht werden müssen. Das ist eigentlich die Kurzerfassung. Die Aktie hat nicht reagiert auf den starken Anstieg vom Uran. Ich meine, wir sehen jetzt im selben Niveau wie Mai, Juni, Juli letzten Jahres. Uranpreis hat sich aber in diesem Zeitraum quasi verdoppelt. Sie haben auch ein Forward Sales Agreement gemacht, das wird teilweise finanziert ist, die ganze Produktionsaufbau, wird wahrscheinlich auch nochmal ein Private Placement machen müssen, also wird eine Kombination von beiden sein, das ist eigentlich schon in Kürze beschrieben. Die Aktienstruktur ist sehr gering, 27 Millionen Aktien sollen draußen sein, mit allen Options, Warrants und so weiter wird es irgendwo bei 30, 31 Millionen sein. Wenn man das durchrechnet mit ungefähr 40 Cent, da sind wir bei 12 Millionen Kann-Dollar, das sind so 8 Millionen Euro. Wenn da wirklich Geld reinfließt, dann geht das wahnsinnig schnell, vor allem wenn sie dann tatsächlich in Produktion sind. Also das ist jetzt genau das Riesenthema. Er hat einen guten Track Record in der Vergangenheit schon. Forces Metals hat er aufgebaut, im 2006 bis 2010 auch in Namibia. Das heißt, er kennt das Land, er kennt die Umgebung, er kennt die richtigen Leute und natürlich auch die Judikatur dazu. Und von daher, ja, bin gespannt. Also klingt echt interessant, und Uran ist halt das heißeste Commodity, was wir jetzt haben. Wenn man noch so einen Uranpreisanstieg, seien wir ehrlich, nicht die Aktien jetzt dann langsam anfangen zum Fliegen, dann weiß ich auch nicht. Und der Boom ist ein bisschen anders als wie der 2006, 2007. Wir haben sehr viel über den Uranpreis geredet. 2006, 2007 war es mehr von Institutions getrieben. Jetzt ist es so, dass es eigentlich vom Supply-Demand-Issue getrieben ist, dieser Anstieg. Und deswegen geht er davon aus, dass wir diese $100 plus für längere Zeit haben werden. Vielleicht nicht mehr, vielleicht gehen wir auch auf. Ich würde es nicht ausschließen, dass wir auf 200 rausgehen. Aber da können Sie super damit leben. Und ja, das war es eigentlich schon. Das war ein Interview am 24. Jänner 2024. Ja, und damit haben wir eigentlich vom Madison Metals, Duane Parnham hier und ja, tschüss und baba, pfiat euch, wir hören uns. Thank you for your time and have a nice day. Good luck all with your project and yeah, sounds great.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.